Let's give it up for Robin Henry.
Hello, thanks for coming out tonight and happy Mother's Day weekend. Now, I know most of you love your family, your spouses, your children, but isn't it true they get on our nerves just a little bit sometimes? When I first started dating my husband, he told me he says what he means and he doesn't lie. And I think, wow, I met the perfect guy. I'm the luckiest woman. So I went over to his house, a couple dates in. I can't find my keys. I asked him, do you know where my keys are? Yeah. Where are they? Right where you left them. Where's that? I don't know. Well, you said you knew where they were. Yes, I do. Where? Right where you left them. And I started to wonder, am I trapped in an Abbott and Costello Who's on First sketch? Like, what's going on? Is there a hidden camera? Am I being punked? No, because then he says, you're gonna find them the last place you looked. Look. I said, of course I am, because I'm not gonna look anymore after I find them. So I eventually find them. I don't remember where. I was just so relieved to find them. And he says, aha, I told you. They were right where you left them in the last place you looked. And guess what? I kept dating that guy. So I started introducing him to my friends. And a friend would say, introduce them. They'd shake hands. My friend would say, nice to meet you. My husband would shake the hand and then take his hands and put them under his armpit and go. And my friend looks at me like, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening either. So we get in the car after the party's over and I go, what happens when somebody introduces themselves and they say, nice to meet you? Why don't you say nice to meet you back? And he said, I don't want to say something. I don't know if it's nice to meet them. I just met them. And I said, well, you just say it. You know, it's just, you just say it. No, I don't want to say it. It's not true. Remember, he doesn't lie and he says what he means. And I said, well, it's just a courtesy. And he said, no, I'm not going to lie to somebody. I have no idea if they're nice or if I like them. So, and guess what? I kept dating him. So we're coming home from dinner one night and we get stopped by a DUI traffic stop. Now my husband's epileptic and he doesn't drink alcohol. So we're gonna get through this smooth as silk, right through. So the officer comes up and he winds down the window. He says, sir, have you had anything to drink today? My husband looks at me and says, I think I had some orange juice for breakfast, right? Oh, and milk in my cereal. Now, I can't get arrested. I'm a government worker. I need my job. And I don't know what he's doing. And then he says, oh yeah, I had Pepsi for dinner. And in my mind, I'm like freaking out. And the officer said, sir, have you had any alcohol today? He said, oh no, I don't drink alcohol, no. Now the officer is so angry, he says, get out of here, you're wasting my time. So he drives off and he starts snickering, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, I just answered his question. I said, you knew it was a DUI traffic stop. You knew it was alcohol. No. He asked me if I had something to drink. And I answered the question. And I said, come on. And guess what? I kept dating him. And I married him. And I still love him. But, those instances, I was just like, oh. So the other thing I'm a little concerned about is, how we're raising children these days. I'm concerned that we really need to make sure children are critical thinkers and logical, and they learn how to pay a bill and do laundry and be kind people and love each other and just be able to be independent. We don't want them living with us the rest of their lives, right? Or our lives. But there are some out there that are really struggling. So I go to Wawa. I'm on a trip and I stop at a Wawa to get some snacks and I go in and my bill's $8.08. So I give the 18-year-old cashier a 10 and a dime. And I know you're all like older, so you get it. Not older, experienced. You know what I'm trying to do here, right? He takes a dime and he goes, "Oh, ma'am, I don't need this. The 10 is enough." And I said, no, I don't want the change. And he said, no, you don't get it. The 10 is enough. And I said, I don't want 92 cents change back. And he goes, you don't understand. The 10, I don't need the dime. And I said, could you just punch it in the register? So he rolls his eyes like I'm the dum-dum. And then he punches it in 2 pennies spit out of a change machine because he doesn't have to count the change. So that's why he doesn't understand that I don't want 92 cents change back. So I take the $2. He can't wait for me to get out of the store because I'm holding up his line. I can't wait to get out of there because, I can't deal with this kid anymore. Now, I like to collect a lot of coins, and not because they're collectible, it's just I have change everywhere. It's in my purse, it's in my wallet, it's in my car ashtray. I have a half a pretzel bin full of change. And I really should just cash it in. My sister says, just take it to the bank and put it in one of those machines. And I go, I don't have time for that. Because I have to go through every one to make sure there's not some old collectible coin in there that might be worth money someday. Well, she thinks I'm crazy, but I found a 1926 dime. So next year that's going to be worth it's going to be 100 years old. It's going to be worth a lot of money. It's probably going to be worth $1. A 100-year-old dime, that has to be worth something. So I decided, I'm going to try to give change away when I do transactions. So I go through McDonald's drive-thru. It's $6.34. I give the guy a 10, 34 cents change. He comes back and he goes like this, which means he has change in his hand. And I'm like, no, I gave you 34 cents. And he says, I'm out of dollar bills. So I need to give you quarters, unless you want to wait for the manager to go get some $1 bills somewhere. And I said, no, just give me the change. So I left there with more money, more change than I had to start. I can't get rid of it. I'm getting it more back. So I was in Nashville a couple weeks ago for the comedy festival down there. And a really lovely young lady sat next to me. And she was like, hi, where are you guys from? And I said, oh, we're from Pennsylvania. And she said, I'm originally from Kansas City, but I moved here and I work in healthcare IT. And I go, oh, great, wow. She goes, do you guys love the Steelers? And I go, well, I'm kind of an Eagles fan. Oh, boo, boo, boo. This is a grown woman. Boo. And I said, look, okay, we won the Super Bowl this year. You won the Super Bowl, 2 years ago. And she goes, we won last year too. I was there. It went into the 5th quarter. Now, I'm a big football fan. I never heard anybody call it the 5th quarter. I said, the 5th quarter? She said, yeah, because it was tie, so they had to go into extra time, the 5th quarter to see who could win. And I go, they call that overtime. And she's like, what? No, it's the extra quarter because it was tie. And then I just give up, because I said, oh, okay. So then she says, what kind of drink is that? And I said, oh, it's strawberry lemonade. And she's like, is it just yummy? And I smile. I go, yeah, it's just yummy. Remember, this woman works in healthcare IT. I'm very concerned. Fortunately, she's in Tennessee and she's not in my healthcare IT department. So, again, I'm sure everybody's here doing a great job raising your children. And let's help those that need our help. Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Again, I'm Robin Henry out of Harrisburg. Thank you for your time.